Hey, let's listen to some music. Just a little AI generated stuff. You know, some blues, because it's after dark. Not used to see me this late, is it? A little weird. My name is Sean Shapiro. This is Ask a Traffic Cop After Dark. Yeah. Just chilling.
When the city sleeps and the lights go low, questions arise on how rules flow. Sean's here to guide in the quiet night air, bringing truth and justice with a steady stare. After dark we roll, the questions ignite. Let's talk about the road in the calm moonlight. It's more than cars, it's how we steer. Sean Shapiro's voice is crystal clear. Unfold, traffic and wisdom, stories retold. Seatbelt tight, let's cruise down this lane. Answers from Sean, it's never in vain. The road is long, but the talk is real. Regrets and curiosity, both we can heal. Reflections deep as the asphalt winds, combining the laws and the soulful lines. After dark we roll.
I gotta say, I'm really digging these AI generated tunes. I like it. I like it a lot. I hope you're doing well. I hope that Tuesday is treating you right. So let's talk about stuff. It's kind of a slow gig. We're going to chill out. We're going to take it slow. We're going to answer your questions, and I'm excited to be here. This is possibly the latest live I've done, possibly maybe, because it's 9:28 p.m. And yeah, this is not my regularly scheduled time, which will be, which is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. So kind of reverso day. But I'm ready to take on some questions. Take it slow. We'll see what's going on. And I see there's some activity on TikTok. First off, I see Brandon who says, "Hey, Sean and all. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day." And at this point, it's a fantastic night. What is going on in your world where you are? What are you up to? What is going on? What are you cooking, Brandon? That's what I want to know. Yes. If you're watching, know that we're also on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok, and we're doing it in all those places so we can get questions from all those places. The more the merrier, you know how it is. My name is Sean Shapiro. That's on the screen. I used to be a cop, and now I talk about traffic safety as not a cop, as a former cop. But Ask a Traffic Cop stuck, and here we are. Peter John Williams says, "Your voice sounds even more relaxed. I'm already lost expecting you to play some jazz." You know what? I need to put some tunes. Should we add music to the background? What do we have here? We have the ability of putting on, now this is built in. I don't know if this is going to be good or bad. If it sucks, we'll take it off. But this is lounge music in the background. See what happens. This is not good. This is not the right kind of loud. Chill, down tempo. Let's try that instead. No. Chill? What is lo-fi? Definitely not. Come on. R&B? Maybe R&B could work. Oh, they got jazz. Okay, R&B could work. Rain, natural sounds, atmosphere. This is built into Restream. I use Restream for multicasting onto multiple platforms simultaneously, and it works really, really well. And I don't usually use the music. I would just ambient. That's just weird. We'll try jazz. I'm thinking we don't use anything is what I'm thinking. Indie rock? No, this is acoustic. And eventually we will get to questions. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about this. No, it's not working for me. Okay. Let's talk about I'm Good, who says hola, and also happens to be the first person into the TikTok live stream today. We've got Chad, who says, thought you aren't a cop. I'm not a cop anymore. And normally I have a title that says former police officer. And I don't have that on the screen right now. So, I mean, I could put that on the screen. Is it here? Former police officer. Yeah, we'll just move this over here. There we go. Problem solved. Although the colors not really chill. The lights and siren look better for the live stream on the day. Trailer Park Guy says, could you enlighten people as to what carrying control is? Or sorry, what a carrying control charge is? Well, essentially, if you're in a motor vehicle and you can have the keys and the ability to decide to drive, even if you're not driving in that moment, you're just chilling out, whether you're smoking some wacky tobacco or you are, drinking alcohol, you are in carrying control of that motor vehicle and eligible for charges. Yeah, it's impaired driving, even though you're not driving. Isn't that weird? Doesn't matter if you're on private property, public property. People who want to go in and what is it called? Greenhousing their car. Yeah, that's a good way to get arrested. At very least charged with consuming those products in your vehicle. Care and control, bad plan. Ryan Estachio, is it Estachio? Ryan Estachio, 2005. Why do you have the voice to do voiceovers for movies? Because if you've never seen Traffic Court, you don't know what you're missing. That's what it is. I do some voiceover work, but my primary focus is traffic safety. And as the day turns into night, we talk about it in an exaggerated, low, smooth voice. All right, let's see what's going on. We've got, can you fight an automated speed ticket? Jenny wants to know, and I can absolutely answer you. The deal is you can fight anything. Doesn't mean you're going to win. It is a situation where they have photographic evidence and machines that are all calibrated to measure your speed, determine whether or not you ran a stop sign, in some jurisdictions, stop signs, red lights, speeding is a thing, school buses, they're experimenting with TTC streetcars now. If you drive past these devices and they register your plate and the information that caused them to trigger, you're going to have a difficult time defending yourself. In addition, it's an owner's responsibility charge, which means it doesn't affect your driver's license, but you don't even, there's nothing much to say in your defense. And that's an opinion, because there are people who have gone in and I'm sure successfully defended themselves. But I don't know what they did to do it. And I think it's uncommon. Generally speaking, if it's your car, it's your car, and whether you were driving or not is irrelevant. Now, there have been situations where people who were doing ridiculous speeds got off on technicalities. I think they've addressed those issues. But it's happened where people have been successful. More often than not, what I see is people who get a reduction in the fine. Ricky wants to know if I've ever pulled someone over for not letting the bus yield back into traffic. I personally have not, but at the same time, it is absolutely a thing, and it's a thing that should be laid. Maybe we'll just make this song in the background. Just gonna have this one repeat really low. Someone said, let the music play. Okay, let's see here. So yeah, I've never laid it, but I know it gets laid, and I know more enforcement on that is needed, because it's horrible. Bus drivers they have a tough enough job and not being let into the room room into the lane is a problem. 911 TPS Jess, how's it going? Long time no see. Welcome to the party, to After Dark. This is Ask a Traffic Cop After Dark. I'm Sean Shapiro, your host, and answer or host with the most and answers for most. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm a former cop who talks about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff. So if you've got questions, feel free to ask. And if you're watching and don't already follow me, please do. I go live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and occasionally on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It might become the Tuesday, Thursday After Dark thing because we can. So if you're interested in keeping in touch, hit follow. And if you're just hanging out, hit like a lot. That way other people find the room too. The more questions we bring to the table, the more interesting the live stream gets. It's just what happens. Hello. All right. Woodell Engineering says, hey, buddy, how's it going? Haven't seen a video from you recently. What's going on? He's usually got amazing drone footage of construction sites, big projects. Okay, so 911 TPS Jess says, okay, so I'm going to get my windows tinted. How dark can I go? That is one of the most popular questions ever asked on this channel and the previous channel, which used to be the Toronto Police Channel, Traffic Services. Now, what the answer is for legality, you can't get your vehicle certified if you have more than 30% visible light transmission blocked. So you can't block, my bad. You can't have more than 30% light blockage on the windows left and right of the driver. You must have 70% plus visible light transmission. Yeah, I got it straight. But that's for certification. In the event that you were to have something that, let's say you got 25%, whatever the case is, and it's dark out, and the police officer can't see inside, that's a ticket for obscuring the interior of your motor vehicle. And you don't want that. You just don't want that. So to avoid issues, I would suggest light tint, 20%, 15%, which is not dark at all. But what are you getting the dark tint for? Is it for privacy? Because that the whole, if you can't see in, that's the problem. Police need to be able to see in. The public needs to be able to see in. Visible, nonverbal communication, being able to see where people are looking, knowing that, like, when someone is looking at you. Like, I'm looking at you now before I was reading, and you can tell the difference. Well, it's the same thing for pedestrians, cyclists, and other drivers. If they can't see you, if they can't figure out what you're doing based on making eye contact, it's a problem. It is a problem. Weston Pal Ham Company. Let's see. You're perfect for this. Really enjoyed the info. Thank you very much. Yeah, but 911 Jess, it's hard to say 911 TPS Jess in one flow. I guess I did it. That wasn't that hard. But I would be reluctant to get really dark. Just to make it look nice. It does look cool when it has some tint. But I've seen some blacked out cars that are very illegal. Very, very. Ryan, the Thin White Line Interceptor just popped in. How's it going? Okay. JS says, I feel like I'm being serenaded. I'm glad it's a positive thing. I was told I should just read the Highway Traffic Act, and that would be entertainment in itself. And it's not a complaint. I appreciate that. Chad says, cops just have a quota of tickets they gotta hand out. Chad, you're incorrect. And Chad continues to say, and if they don't do enough, they will get in trouble. And you are still correct. There are no quotas. I'm sorry to break the bad news. There are no quotas. I've never been told I have to have a certain number of tickets, and if I don't, I'm going to get, in trouble. They're going to take my lunch money or not give me a raise. Or no, I wrote as many. I wrote as many tickets as I wanted to, and I wanted to write as many as possible. It was always a kind of a personal thing to find all the people violating because I want to make roads safer. It's a personal thing. Now, what kind of tickets is up to you? I have friends that will only write cell phone tickets. They believe that is the worst thing to happen on the road, so they are out for everyone who does that. They don't really care about speeding. They care about cell phones. Other friends, all they do is write speeding because they care about that, and they don't really care about cell phones. So every officer has their own sort of focus and interest, and that's what they focus on. Simple as that. If you are watching and don't know who I am, my name is Sean Shapiro, and I used to be a cop in Toronto. I am still a traffic safety guy. I still talk about it on the radio, on television, and of course on the internet. So if you got questions, I've got answers and a cool hat that I made myself. Well, I didn't make the hat, but I made the patch, which I put on the hat. And Chase wants one. Chase says, watching from 35,000 feet in the air on my way to Edmonton. Dude, you get around. I'm ever so jealous of. He's always somewhere else, and this is not the first time he's been watching while in the air. Very cool. That was not a product placement. Pepsi is not supporting the show. Maybe they should. I drink enough of it. Oh, see, Chase says, I ordered my hat today, so I get my VOC patch on. Right on. Loves the graphics. Yeah, and if you saw my shirt or my jacket, I have a jacket that my friends at FM Embroidery made for me. I'm wearing that everywhere I go. The shirt changes, but I wear that constantly. And today I went to Chick-fil-A, which was my first time ever. Who's been to Chick-fil-A? Loving the Chick-fil-A. Went there for the first time. Friendliest people I've ever experienced in a restaurant. The cleanest restaurant I have ever seen. Now, granted, it's like less than a year old. Maybe it's just over a year. Whatever. It's a beautiful restaurant. Went there, and they are doing a promotion right now where they're giving police and fire a free meal a day for the next couple of days. If you come in in uniform, or if you come in with ID, they will buy a meal for you because they appreciate the police and fire. I don't know why they hate the paramedics. They're not. I don't think they included paramedics. The poster only had 2 things, so they got some criticism about that. But I got to tell you, awesome people. And I didn't go there with the intention of getting anything for free. I'm retired. I said, I don't qualify. I just came to thank them and give them business because I believe that they're doing the right thing by supporting police and fire. And they bought me lunch anyway. So thank you for lunch. And then I bought somebody else lunch. So it kind of worked out. But it was very cool of them. John's the manager. It's John who's the manager there. And he watches the show. If you're watching now, John, thank you for a wonderful experience. And to the chap who was working in the dining room who also watches the show. And I followed him because I followed him back. Great people. Just got to say. If you've never had their food, it was my first time ever, and I will be back. The food is good. I had a salad. It was tasty. Okay. Brandon made a smoked beef brisket cooked for 12 hours. 12 hours. Wow. I'm a big fan of brisket. Absolutely. Do a Mitzvah says, good evening, Sean. Do a Mitzvah. Always a pleasure to see you in the stream. Thanks for popping in. Brandon says, cops have quotas in the form of chicken wings at lunchtime. Yeah, for anyone who thought that cops like donuts, what we really like is chicken wings. I am a big fan for a big wing. Although, I find some of the tastiest wings are the smaller wings. I don't know. Do you need the big meaty wing, or is it, No. Everyone's got preferences. I recently went to one of my favorite places in the GTA. It's my local Wimpy's Diner. And they have wings in the menu. I had some wings. I'm doing no carbs, so I like doing no or very low carbs, and I do like wings. They fit the requirements there. Hey, Toronto cop, what's happening? For the new corner, what is this? For the newcomers, this man is the GOAT. That's an endorsement from 911 TPS Jess. Thanks very much. Appreciate the endorsement. Spider, what's going on? 79 says lean with extra mustard. That's you know what? If you get your brisket that way, absolutely. Smoked meat's actually my favorite. Montreal style smoked meat. Wimpy's all day breakfast, absolutely. Oh, so 911 TPS Jess is a Toronto police dispatcher who has just outed the entire unit as saying us dispatchers like donuts. Over wings, really? Smurf GT says, let's check the TikTok chat. I'm all over the place. We're just chilling out here. I see that Jenny really, really wants to know about automated speed tickets and spamming the chat. Jenny, please don't. Don't spam. It's not nice. Spam is for sandwiches, apparently, although I've never had spam. Okay, Kyle wants to know what's the law about touching smartwatches and driving. It's still a communication device. It still qualifies for a handheld communication device. Even if it didn't, you'd be eligible for careless driving if it was impacting your driving. But I know that they have laid charges. I have not, but there have been charges laid. It made the paper several times in regards to people being charged for handheld communication device whilst driving while touching their watch, actively using it for chat, or if you can look at it to tell the time. That's it. It's a thing. Okay. Kevin Parkin, thanks for following. Randy Jones, you followed too. I appreciate it. And Garrity wants to know, how's retirement going? You were not the first person to ask me that today. I got a text from my old boss who recently, retired before me, and asked how I was doing too. So, oddly enough, I ran into a whole bunch of OPP officers at a breakfast joint nearby who asked the same question. And it's real weird because I don't feel retired. I feel very busy. It's not, my situation is different. I'm not really retired in terms of watching grass grow and enjoying life and cruising slow. I am really working. Trying to launch a not-for-profit. We're working on it with Better Traffic. Better Traffic is the not-for-profit that wants to do what we're doing right here, and we want to make it happen across Canada and the United States. We've got sponsors. On the Day Show background, it says, Barrett Legal and Diamond Lawyers, because those are two of our sponsors. And Thin White Line Interceptor now wants wings. Good evening, sir. I see the Guinness is being served on Instagram. What's going on, brother? Okay, what do we got here? Can you get a ticket for going too slow? Oh, yeah, nice and slow. That's Bernhard who wants to know. Hey, what's happening, man? In terms of going too slow, you absolutely can get a ticket for too slow. Too slow is unnecessary slow driving in the province of Ontario, and it is a charge under the Highway Traffic Act. You can also get a ticket for being in the left lane when going slower than the speed of traffic. Now, the wording sucks because it says the normal speed of traffic, and sadly, the normal speed of traffic is quite literally speeding. It's doing 20 or 30 over the speed limit. And it's not meant to be employed by those who are you're not supposed to get a ticket for going slower than the speeders because they're breaking the law. The normal speed of traffic should be the speed of traffic. That being said, it's still safer to stay to the right in the event that you are going slower than the speeding violators on your left. So it is a ticket. It's not worth getting. Stay to the right unless you're actively passing. Cruising is the right lane thing. That's where you spend your time. Chad says, stop sign tickets in a parking lot. Can you give them? No. The Highway Traffic Act has a very specific number or group of charges that are eligible. Stunt driving charges are eligible on private property, but that's and the charges related to leaving the scene of a collision, but not for stop signs. Now you can get a careless driving charge if careless driving with serious injuries. You can lay that charge now. That's a new thing. But generally speaking, signs not enforceable. But if you're dangerous driving, criminal, you could do that. And Spider says, I just came to say hello. I'm spending time with my uncle Charlie. Took him to Boston Pizza for dinner. I'll catch y'all again. I'll be back in the morning at 10 a.m. if you want to jump in later. Well, tomorrow, that is. Have a good one. Hello to your uncle and enjoy the pizza. Now, Boston Pizza is a place I used to go a lot with the crew from Thousand Finch when back in the day, 2201 Finch. Thousand Finch, it's going back. Way back. Chad says a little loud. I'm not sure if that's now or before or what the story was. David says, hi, why is there no enforcement of the hit and run license plates? The tinted plates must bypass, and then it got cut off. There's absolutely enforcement of hit and run. We have a hit and run unit it's called the detective office at Traffic Services, and they focus on those hit and runs. So they are investigated. You have to have some stuff. And I was advised that I'm dating myself talking about Thousand Finch. And 2201 still, isn't 2201 still around? Or is it being all centralized to the new courthouse? Interesting. It's been a while since I've talked about courts. Okay. Emergency vehicles have to stop for school buses? Smurf GTB 58. Do emergency vehicles have to stop for school buses? They do. Legally, they do. We would ask that if you were a school bus operator and you heard sirens, take a pause. Don't activate your lights and take people off. Wait. Now, I will tell you that if it's a gun call that people are going to, they are going to go regardless of your lights because lives are at risk. And they're going to break the rules and they're going to possibly get in trouble for it. But they're going to go. And that's the thing. So, yeah, don't take kids off your bus if you hear sirens. Just wait. Or put whoever's back on the bus in the bus. Make sure whoever's crossing the street is clear and then turn them off as quickly as possible. All right. What's the fine for catless downpipe? Oh, there's a whole bunch, Dalton. The deal is that you have to have a muffler, you have to have your resonator, you have to have a proper exhaust system. If you don't, you're going to get a ticket for that. I'd have to look up the exact numbers, whether it's 110 or more. I can't remember. But the cat part used to be covered under the Environmental Protection Act. And now that is under the HTA, and I think it's in the $600 range. So you can start adding things up, and it's not hard to get to $1,000. Matthew McKee says, "Let's go." Where are we going? What is happening? David says, "Speed cams and red light cams." Oh, tinted. Yes. So tinted plates must bypass speed cams and red light cams. They do in some cases. Very often they are capable of reading through them. But if you have license plate covers or anything that obscures the license plate, you should get a nice ticket. They're not allowed. Nothing can cover anything. Even the frames that say your favorite Ford dealership on them, not legal. Okay. Jenny, I don't know if you're still asking this. Hang on. Ashley, what's going on, Ashley? I see the more updated chat here. And it looks like Jenny cut it out. Jenny wasn't paying attention when I actually answered the question. Okay. Matthew McKee says, "Thank you for answering our questions." You are most welcome. It's kind of the thing that I do, especially Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. when we do the live show, the regular live show. This is just an extra a la carte, doing it because I can after dark episode. Whether it becomes a regular thing on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I don't know, but we're going to see what happens. And if you're watching and you've never seen this before, this is only the second time it's ever happened. The late night version of Ask a Traffic Cop After Dark. And I am Sean Shapiro, a former police officer who talks about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff. So please follow the channel. Please share it with people. And know that I have a plan. There is a project coming. It is in the works. I will be doing a page-by-page breakdown of the G1 process. Teaching you the book. And if you like the voice, reading the book's going to be good. If you don't like the voice, it's the wrong channel for you. All right, let's get into what Alex wants to know about. What is the fine for a deleted heavy-duty pickup truck? You're talking about a diesel that has the deleted materials to clean or scrub. This is where you put the fluid in. It's going to be environmental protection. You're probably looking at about $600, I'm guessing. I've not laid the charge, but when they amalgamated or combined the environmental protection stuff, it got put into the HTA. Okay, what's going on here? We got... Yes, then Ryan, thanks for suggesting adding a cue to the question so I know it's a question and not chat. And for advising folks that I may or may not see the question, depending on how busy the chat is. It sometimes takes a while, and I'm watching 3 different windows. Because we've got comments like, After Dark ex-copper dude Sean from Brock, Vegas. Oh, greetings, After Dark ex-copper dude. That's Gwen who sent the message. Yeah, so I've got my Instagram, my TikTok, and my combined YouTube, X, LinkedIn, and such. So, there you go. What do we got here? Jimmy says, good evening, and how often are school bus related tickets? Couldn't tell you the stats. If we see it, we write it. We have a soft spot for those ankle biters you call kids, because many of us are, in fact, parents ourselves. And when people do stupid stuff and put our kids in jeopardy or your kids in jeopardy, it pisses us off. Truly. Chris Luttrell, what's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well. Says, after dark, how do you keep the beard so beautiful? I can ask you the same thing, Chris. Chris is a retired copper out of Washington State. And he and his beautiful family are still over there, and I have yet to come visit, even though he's come to visit me here. And he has or had a magnificent beard. All right, let's see what's going on here. Okay, David says, saw one today that was so dark I needed to pull right behind close at a red light to read it. We're talking about license plates. There are some really horrible ones. And the problem is it's a 1x1 or one. You can't, there's no easy fix. And that we're not focused on license plates unless we're literally focused on your license plate. And I mean that we're looking for the stuff that's big four. We're looking for people who are causing the risk to go up in a collision situation. We're looking for speeders, aggressive drivers, distracted drivers. We're looking for impaired drivers. License plate, that's a combo ticket usually. But if we're in traffic and we could come across it, I would pull it over every time I saw it. Is it illegal to have a cop radar in a car? What do you mean? Like, is it illegal for you to have a radar device in your car that measures the speed of other people? No, it's not. I don't think it's a regulated device. I'm not aware of any regulation that prohibits you from owning, using a device like that. I question why you would need it, and why you'd want to potentially nuke your NADs. And because that's the handheld ones, people used to put them in their laps, and they used to be constant on, and people would sterilize themselves, allegedly. What about tint on a limousine? Carl wants to know. So the deal is that limo tint is in the rear of the limo. That's the passenger compartment of a limousine. It can be as dark as you want. You could do that in your personal vehicle. In Ontario, the only windows that are regulated are the ones left and right of the driver. The windshield, it can't have any tint, but the ones left and right of the driver are regulated as to how dark you can make them. The rear ones, dark as you want. And I can't remember what state it was in, but we were looking at a state a couple of episodes ago, and it turns out that particular state treats SUVs and sedans differently. SUVs can tint the rear. The other ones cannot. Sedans couldn't tint any of their passenger compartments. Different reasons. Yeah. Rules are different everywhere. I talk about Ontario law primarily, but traffic safety stuff tends to be the same everywhere you go. But when you get into the whole tinted window and vehicle regulations, it changes dramatically, province to province, state to state. B58 says, I have an important question. And if you have an important question, you should type it out. Otherwise, I won't see it. Blue Pearl. Did they stop the traffic TikTok when you left? I have only seen it once way back. And I prefer you. Thank you, Blue Pearl. My buddy Star Wars Cop tried to continue, and he has had so many different things going on that he hasn't been able to. Now, to be fair to him, he's not a traffic guy. He's a bicycle safety guy and a copper who does all sorts of stuff. But he wasn't a traffic specialist, and he was put in a situation where he was expected to know everything, and he didn't. And I appreciate his candor when he says that's not his thing. And it was cutting into other duties that he had, so he hasn't been doing it. And there was talk of me going back part-time. They asked me if I would do it 3 days a week. And my issue is twofold. One, it's a big deal for me to go downtown now because I've taken on a lot of responsibilities for my family, which is why I left in the first place. And I've also started a not-for-profit with the goal of expanding what I do across Canada and the United States. So I've got a mission, I've got a plan, I've got something I really want to do. And we'll see. I'd love to still help the Toronto Police, and maybe we'll combine forces, and maybe I'll broadcast on their TikTok at the same time, and we'll start doing that again. But know that I'm still here and doing these live streams 3 days a week and creating content on VoiceOver Cop. And I've created a channel called Ask a Traffic Cop, which is where I want to put the shows that are going to be combined with other jurisdictions. So when we have American police or police from across Canada join in, I want to put it there. So things will change. But if you search up Ask a Traffic Cop, you'll find a channel that's dedicated to it. Randy Jones, 8979, says, you grew a beard. I did, yes. I basically stopped shaving. I did go and see some friends up in Barrie who are beard specialists, and they trimmed the beard because it was getting quite grizzly. And which is oddly enough the name of the muffler shop I just went into today, Grizzly Mufflers, custom mufflers. They fixed my muffler because I was making noise. But yes, I was looking pretty grizzly and needed to do some upkeep. But I am enjoying the beard. It's the first time I've ever had a beard this long. I couldn't do it when I was in uniform. Okay. Akota Media. I don't know what your question is. It's one word only, doesn't help me. CD says, oh dang, when and why did you quit? I left at the end of August, and I left because I needed to be around to help family some more. It's just life takes turns, and it's not because I didn't like my job. I loved my job. It's not because I had to leave. It's just because life takes you in different places. Randy says, I'm sure you've answered this already. Why did you... Same question. Yeah, just family stuff. Sometimes you got to do the right thing, even though it isn't always fun. At least, it is, well, that's not the right way to word it, because it is fun. Having a lot of fun. And the commute to work is now down the stairs. Bizarro Sonia, long time no see. Hope you're well. What's the minimum age limit for a child to sit in the front seat? I know the back seat is always best, but 9 years old always asks for the front. So the pros will say back is best until 14 years old. And that is because just the whole, what is it, skeletal formation. It's strongest and best at 14, apparently. Now, is that realistic? No. And sometimes you have a vehicle that only has 2 seats, and you can't always keep them in the back seat. But it's ideal to be in the back seat until 14. If you're going to be in the front seat, put that seat to the farthest position, because airbags can hurt people who are vertically challenged. It can hurt adults too, but it can really hurt young people. It depends is definitely a hashtag, right? Okay. If you're just tuning in, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer, and I want to help you. I want to answer your traffic and police questions. I also want you to help me. I'd like you to like and share and tell the world about what I do, which is answering your traffic and police questions as often as I can. Normally, it's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. On a bunch of different platforms, including YouTube, LinkedIn, X, Instagram, and TikTok. But occasionally, I jump on for an After Dark, which is a new thing. This is only the second time I've ever done it. But if you would kindly follow me, and especially follow me on YouTube, find VoiceOver Cop on YouTube. I would love to get that channel monetized. And I have under 300 followers right now, hoping to get to the point where I have 1,000, because then I can sign up for the partner program and get some support and help and thingamajiggies. But anything you can do. Following is great. Sharing is fabulous. Asking questions. This show runs on your questions. If you ask me nothing, I have very little to talk about. That's not true. I got lots to talk about. But it'll be more interesting with your questions. For Miss Michelle, can you touch your cell phone while it's mounted in a holder, or will you get a ticket? So there's only one time in Ontario, well, 2 times technically. There's only 2 things you can do. The first one is if it's mounted, you can touch it for the momentary button press of answer or hang up. That is the only acceptable use of your phone outside of an emergency. Simple as that. Now you can have it, and this is up for some discussion, but the general consensus is that you can have your phone in GPS mode, displaying a GPS screen, as long as you are not touching the screen. So if you set it and forget it before you get on the road, the GPS mode can be visible. Now, I've had a learned colleague of mine disagree with me, and we're still working it out, but he says that that's not acceptable. The vast majority of policing believes it is, so you shouldn't be getting a problem. And it may change. But if it changes, we'll let you know. Once we confirm it. He would say err on the side of caution and don't use it at all. Now, when can you actually use it? You can pick it up and dial it and use it like a call in order to call 911. So you can actually punch in a telephone number and call 911. But I got news for you. You can do all that by voice. If your phone's connected to Bluetooth, there's really no reason to ever touch it because you can give it voice commands for just about anything. I can tell it to book appointments and call people and remind me when I get home because it's geofenced to my house. And as soon as I get on my street, pop-up reminder, hey, take out the trash. So there's no reason to touch it. And touching it will get you a ticket. And in Ontario, that's $615 and demerit points and suspension on conviction. Okay. Okay, what do we got here? B58 says they don't have a quota, but in Peel road safety has double digits, and I'm sure probably say has double digits. We write double digits. So here's the deal, and I tell this to new officers all the time. Bad guys drive cars, and the more cars you stop, the more chances you get to find bad guys. When you find bad guys, they often have guns. I can't tell you how many people have been stopped, and as a result of that traffic stop, for speeding, for stop signs, find guns in the car, drugs in the car, warrants outstanding. Stop more cars, write more tickets, find more bad guys. And people are shocked that traffic cops get all these great busts. The bad guys drive cars. Shocking, I know. And they don't follow the rules because they don't respect them. And if they don't respect the driving rules, they probably don't drive they don't follow the criminal ones either. Talk about firearms laws. They don't follow those. Bad guys are bad guys. Now, not every driver who makes a mistake is a bad person, but they deserve a ticket if they break the law. JJ Carr 567 says, "Sir, I just joined in. Hope you're doing well. Got a question. When you run my plate, what do you see?" Also, I noticed earlier you gave me a gift, which I appreciate. Diamonds are always appreciated, not required though, but it's kind of you. So in terms of what do we see? When we run a license plate, we will see the basic, what we call tombstone information: name, date of birth of the registered owner, address, vehicle identification, number, I should say. So used to not saying number, I say VIN, but when you say vehicle identification, you actually need to include the N. So, and that's the basics. Now you can also search more based on that and get the driver's license history and check for criminal stuff and suspensions, and but it's pretty basic. Now there's automatic license plate readers, and those basically cross-reference license plates to lists of vehicles that we're searching for. That's about it. Kane Blade wants to know, have you ever had to pit maneuver? I've never pit maneuvered. Okay, Bizarro Sonia says, so going from home to the local bakery 2 blocks away, if I let my 9-year-old son sit in the front seat, I won't get pulled over. It's not illegal. They can sit in any seat in the car other than the driver's seat because they can't drive. But yeah, there's no legal requirement for a 9-year-old to be in a particular seat. And if they were in a car seat, which a 9-year-old doesn't have to be in a child safety restraint because it only requires it until the passenger is up to 8 years old, 80 pounds, or 4'9". Any one of those three would preclude them from requiring a safety seat. Now, legally, a booster seat might still be a good thing if your child is petite, even at 9. Just not legally required. Scarborough Cop, how's it going? Long-time listener. Good to have you. What's happening? Uh-oh. KRN PB10 says, as a truck driver, I got a violation today in Georgia. Please let me know if it's going to show on my record. Yeah, it's very possible that there's a reciprocal agreement. With the advent of the internet, the world got smaller, and most of that stuff trickles down. It used to be border towns only. It used to be Michigan and New York. Depending on what province, they had different reciprocal agreements. And in the middle of the U.S., it generally didn't make it, but I would assume that it's going to make it. And Scarborough Coptio says, I got so many traffic questions. Well, you've got a direct line, my friend. You can always send me an email. Feel free to reach out anytime. And you can get me at voiceovercop@gmail.com too for the express pass. Actually, I get questions all the time. If you go to trafficcop.ca or askatrafficcop.ca, there's a form on my link tree that says ask me a question, and I get questions all day. Today, I got an email from a woman whose husband was involved in a collision, and the person who hit them ran. They took off, and her husband followed them and confronted them at their place of employment, where the person admitted to not having insurance, and then pleaded with him not to report the collision because he doesn't have insurance, which, by the way, comes with a $5,000 to $25,000 fine and up to 6 months in jail. I could see why he wouldn't want to be caught. But who does a lane change into another car and then doesn't even stop to see if they're okay? Just takes off. Well, that's a dick move. So I gave the advice that I would give anyone. You call the police, you report that person. You know where they live, or at very least you know where they work. You have their vehicle. Chances are it's owned by them. They may not even be licensed, but if they are licensed, it's probably owned by them. Report them and then go to your insurance, because if they don't pay their fines or their insurance, they're not going to pay you to repair your vehicle either. Just saying. Okay. Scarborough Cup says, thank you, amigo. Love the show. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. And look forward to hearing from you. Oh. Bizarro Sonia says, thank you. P.S. Is your hat custom VC voice cop and you in the image? It is. It is, although I've changed it. This was the original version, and my kid said, that doesn't look like you, Dad. So I revised it. Let's see if this works when I hit this. No, hang on. I can do this. Stand by. I'll show you the logo now, because what's on my jacket looks different. So I've changed the dimensions a little bit. I've given myself an accurate forehead. And the funny thing is, if I overlay the eyes of that image, it actually is accurate now, size-wise. It perfectly overlays over my face. And the kids then approved it. And Ryan says, yep, that's him. It's but I'm having fun. So VOC is what I've been using. Like, I have my original VOC hat, which I had made at the mall, just as I just randomly went in and said, I need a hat. And I made a TikTok video about it, which is on my channel. And I love this thing. So voice over cop. Well, voice over cop is really 2 words. But I made the O me. So it's still voice over cop. Bizarro Sonia says, it's amazing. Do you sell them? I think it's so cool. I've been asked if I sell them. I hadn't thought of selling them. I could sell them. I have a, so what many of you may not know is that not only am I a traffic geek, but I'm a 3D printing geek and a laser cutting geek and a vinyl decal making geek. I'm interested in all sorts of things. So I actually laser engraved the patch, and then I have a heat press for doing t-shirts, and I have a heat press for doing hats. And this is the first hat I've ever produced. And I heat pressed my patch onto my hat. This is the one I've been wearing ever since I made it. Now, I did buy a couple of extra hats because a couple of friends have asked me to make them for them. So I plan to laser some new with the updated dimension logo, and I'll start wearing that one. Maybe I should do some giveaways and things like that. We'll see. But if you do need some merch, although I'm not set up for it, let me know. Okay. Miguel says, would I have to worry about getting a ticket going over bike lane yellow lines, avoiding them in town? Safely, of course. They're horrible this year where I live in Northern Ontario. So worry about getting a ticket going over bike lane yellow lines. So if you're driving in the bicycle lane, it's an offense under the Highway Traffic Act. It's also an offense in the Toronto bylaw, but it depends on where you are, if there's a local bylaw addressing it. So if you're driving in the bike lane, yeah, you can get charged for driving the bike lane. I think it's a $150 fine. Haven't laid it in a long time. Not top of my list. Although once upon a time, I wrote a lot of them because we were enforcing them heavily. Now, when it comes to if there's nobody around, if it's like, I don't understand why you'd be doing it. Like, there's no line, there's no charge for crossing a line, but there is a charge for driving within a bicycle lane. Tassos, what's going on, brother? Long time no talk. He wants to also know about the hats. Where do I get one? Reach out to me, brother. We'll figure it out. We'll get you a hat. Okay. And Ryan says he takes a size 8. Too funny. These are snapbacks. So I've got a big melon, and I've like my problem with this hat is that I bought it, and I love the proper fitted hats, except they don't love me back. This is a medium large, and it gives me a headache, so I very rarely wear it. And I want to go back and make a bigger one. But this is like the perfect fit for me and my melon. Keenan Douglas 11 says, how long have you been an officer? Any advice on proceeding for the future? So I was part of the Toronto Police for just under 25 years. I started as an auxiliary officer, and within a few months of loving that completely, I joined as a court officer and then served in both capacities for about 12 years. Yeah, then became a police officer. The advice is, if you want to do it, man, it's the best job in the world. Best job in the world. And I only got out of being on the road because someone hit me. I was a motorcycle officer, and someone drove into me. As a result, I was off the road and became an admin guy. I was in the office finding odd jobs to do. I started assisting the media officer, then became a media officer. And as a media relations officer, I started doing TikTok stuff. And it was totally random. Started it because I was doing an investigation that required me to get some video of some people skateboarding off the highway. Crazy stuff. Sonia, I've got some of these. I can make that happen. Okay. So the question last on TikTok that I looked at was, have I ever had the pit maneuver? And I haven't. Honda Mig says, what's your opinion on radar detectors? I think they're garbage. I don't think anyone should have them. The whole goal of a radar detector is to enable people to break the law speed and avoid being caught. And we don't want that. We want them to get caught. We want them to change their behavior. Let's see here. JJ Car 567 says, can't believe I'm asking all the things you are saying to ChatGPT and they are so on point. I think ChatGPT is being trained by me. I talk to ChatGPT a lot because I'm always curious to see what things and what kind of answers people can get on their own. And interesting. I'm kind of like human ChatGPT, I guess. I can tell you that Google, not so good, because Google tends to give you other people's opinions and they're not always right. Whereas ChatGPT tends to get multiple sources and have sort of a combination of stuff. It's pretty good. Not perfect, but it's pretty good. Bernhard has a dad joke. Kid refused to nap, got charged for resisting arrest. Oh man, I got to use that tomorrow. Hopefully you'll make it into the show 10 a.m. tomorrow and give it to me again. I'll try and remember it for tomorrow. Officer, what is the amount of the ticket when your M1 is expired? Well, if you're driving with an M1 that is expired, you have no license. And you're a learner with conditions different than a G1. So the problem is you're driving on licenses. I think it's $360 ticket, roughly. And it's just totally unlicensed, which also means your insurance is not covered. I'll reach out for sure. I've confirmed the dates. I'll be okay. May 6th, the 11th. Yes. Tassos, if you make it to Toronto and we connect, I will have a hat for you. Okay. Are you on a TPS pension? No. I left early and pulled my cash. Ben's card says, how's the golf game going? Don't golf. Never. I took golfing. I went to like a summer camp as a kid. They had a golf program. Tried it. Not for me. I kind of side with George Carlin on golf. You'll have to YouTube that for the answer. I won't ruin it for you. Tasso says, will police use traffic cameras to see what happens in a collision? Traffic cameras don't generally record, so that would be difficult. Oshawa Emergency Photography, what's going on? Question. If I join the armed forces, can that help me get a job as in law enforcement? Won't hurt you. If you want to become a police officer, I would say just become a police officer. Joining the armed forces will be a benefit, but you're going to waste a lot of valuable time. Just become a police officer as soon as you qualify. Can a driver be charged doing 60 in an 80 zone? Could they? For what? For unnecessary slow driving, you don't have to go the speed limit. You can't go unnecessarily slow, and 20 under is not unnecessarily slow. It's possibly very reasonable. You're looking for an address, you're planning to, there's no reason to do 80 in an 80. 60 to 80 is a good range. Again, the limit is the limit, not the minimum. And in Quebec, they have a posted minimum, and then it would be enforceable if they said you had to do 70, which would be ridiculous. Matt the Kid asks, hey, as an officer, what's the most important sections of your HTA? It's all important. It's all important, and what I used to do is I never hung out in one section. My spidey senses tingled. I saw something that was right and wrong, or wrong that wasn't right. And I pulled people over and I figured out what the charge was that was most appropriate. I laid it. The whole thing is important. Now, the stuff that gets most often used is speeding and careless and distracted, because those are the things that are epidemics on our road. But that's not the most important thing. Whatever's being done wrong, you find the most important thing because it's the thing you need to lay. Oh, Tassos wants to know if there's a law about cutting through parking lots to skip red lights in gas stations. I grew up thinking that it was illegal, and I have a distinct memory of a particular gas station that had no trespassing, like do not enter, it's customers only. And at one point, there was enforcement of that trespass rule. You were pulling through, but here's the deal: what's to say? Who's to say that you weren't entering that parking lot with the full intention to get gas, and when you saw the price, you changed your mind and left? There's no law against that. If you did it unsafely, it would be against the law. And if you failed to stop before entering the roadway or crossing the sidewalk, if one was present, that would be illegal, and you get charged for that without question. Oh, Ashley says, can we take a moment to recognize that post-retirement beard you got going on? Well, thank you very much. I'm enjoying this post-retirement beard. It is definitely next level a change for me. I've had a beard for a very long time, but I've not had a long beard for a very long time. And Ashley, I apologize if you're still in the room. It was quite some time ago that you asked that. I recognize that you've been here for a while, and I saw that you had posted, but I couldn't see it in the tiny little phone off to the side. If you're watching and you don't know me, if you don't watch me, if you don't find yourself here all the time when I go live at 10 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer. I talk about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff. And if you've got questions, I tend to have answers about this and many other things. So feel free, but definitely follow me. That's how we stay in touch. Haven't seen a lot. I gotta check out your stuff. My algorithm is all over the place. I have not seen Ashley's stuff in a while, and Ashley is in the fitness space and all around good content. If you want to, let's see here. I see what your account name is by clicking on you, so I can give people I can give you a shameless plug. Here, I'll put the name on screen, and you can search their account. Mizael Jardim, is that your name? It says hi. Hello back. Okay. This is the account for Ashley. Lots of great content. Check her out. Okay. Why do cops pull over tow truck drivers? Because they have regulations. It's a regulated industry. And there's tons of safety stuff. And there's also tons of bandits. There are people with weapons, and they're involved in all sorts of criminality. Not all, but many. You may want to go Google tow truck wars. There are people whose homes are being shot at. There are people whose trucks are being set on fire. Like, it's a crazy land we're living in. Specifically talking about tow trucks. It's just wild. I was talking to a chap today who owns tow trucks, and he was just explaining the lay of the land right now. Let's see here. Keenan says, not sure if you're up to date with Durham region, but thoughts about the individual going 200 kilometers an hour on the 401. I wasn't aware of that one. I know that OPP a number of years ago caught someone doing 305. These people should not only have their vehicles taken because they're stunt driving, but I think they should be criminally charged for dangerous operation. And I think they should spend time in jail. People are not getting the message. So what do we do? How do we change? Like, honestly, if I can't educate my way into safety, and I can't threaten my way into safety, and I can't enforce my way into safety, is it like floggings in the public square? What will be enough of a risk to change the behavior, because the goal is to make it safer for people on the road so we don't have senseless loss of life. And that's what it is. All collisions are avoidable, at least the ones that are serious enough to cause serious injury. Let's see. Marco says, seen so many people have their plates damaged on purpose to not get detected for speed cameras. If you have a plate that's not legible, it's a charge. $110 if your plate is dirty, obstructed, anything, peeled. $110 every single time. In fact, if you have a number of charges and you haven't replaced it, we catch on pretty quick. Then we summons you to court. You can explain to a justice of the peace as to why you are not fixing the thing. And some people say, well, it's not my thing to fix. It's owned by the ministry. I'm like, that's fine. You're going to lose it. We're going to take it back. And then you're going to have to pay the $52 to get a new one. But it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. I see it all the time. And it's no better. I see police cars with it. I see TTC buses with it. And I've warned them when I was still on the job. I warned them. Said, you're making everybody look bad. And they do get replaced eventually, but it ain't cool. Just like bicycle racks on police cars. Not legal to block your plate. I call it out. And I had a number of people write to me recently asking about that. And I have a link that I can send you to an appropriate solution on Amazon. I got to figure out the whole Linktree thing. I'm working on lists. I actually signed up with Amazon to be able to do an affiliate program where I can send people links and get a modest commission sent back to the not-for-profit organization. So if we actually suggest, go buy a camera, then 5% of that purchase can go to, it depends on what category. I'm learning all about this affiliate marketing stuff, but we constantly endorse products, and it would be nice to actually raise some money based on that. So if you're looking for stuff, you message me. I'll send you a link that not only gives you a suggestion, but also pays a commission to Better Traffic, which is the not-for-profit that I founded. Okay. How will you know if someone has a catless downpipe? This is B58. We have mechanics. We have car people. We're generally not stupid. There's some people who are stupid, and some of them are wearing uniforms, but for the vast majority are not stupid. And we look for it. You can check if there's pressure. Is there an exhaust coming out? We can inspect your car. If you don't have the right stuff going on, you're going to get tickets. You may even get pulled off the road. Okay, Zinc says, I bought a car that was modified by previous owner. If I'm on my way to the muffler shop to get it fixed, can I still get a ticket? You can. You're still in violation. If you bought a car that doesn't meet the it's not roadworthy, it violates the Traffic Act, you're eligible for a ticket. Now, if you say, that's the muffler shop, I'm going right over there, you may not be able to see it, but it's right there, and the cop buys it, then you get a warning. That's what warnings are for. We still document it. That way the next cop who pulls you over next week and you were lying to the first cop, well, you don't get to lie twice. But you can absolutely get a ticket. Depends on the cop. And Canadian Ape quite accurately says, have it towed there. If you know it's a violation, if you want to avoid being charged, tow it there. Hi says, how much is hourly wage? For what? For being a police officer? I've never thought of it from an hourly perspective, really. If you're going to apply for a police officer, know that when you're a recruit, you're making about 65 or 70,000. When you get out on the road for the first time as a fourth class constable, you're looking at about 75,000. It's all on the Toronto Police website for what that service pays. Check it out. If you're interested in becoming a police officer, it's not because of the hourly wage is great. You're doing it because you want to help people. Tony wants to know how the ALPR system works in a car and what does it stand for. Automatic license plate reader is what it stands for. It is a camera system that reads its optical character recognition. It's capable of reading, deciphering, decoding, and entering, and then searching the license plate on the system for wanted vehicles. You can tell if your license plate's expired, if your car is stolen, if you've got a warrant on you, whatever we're looking for. If you ring the bell, we pull you over. Tassos, who used to be in the insurance industry, or may in fact still be in the industry, says insurance can void policies if you brought a modified vehicle and refused to make it stock. Yes. Anything not standard, even exhaust systems, can cause a vehicle to lose or not be covered, or at very least be denied a claim. What if a police officer wants chicken wings fast? Can they run code 3 lights and sirens? Can they? There's nothing in law that says they can't. In the lawful execution of their duties, they can go code. If anything happened, they'd be fried. Fried. Because you'd have to articulate why you were doing it. Like, the law doesn't say if you want chicken wings, you can't. It's not specifically stated in the lawful execution. Are they lawfully executing their duties as a driving from point A to point B? They are. No one would do it. But it's an interesting conversation. Has chicken wings ever motivated lights and sirens? I bet you Code Brown has. Oh my goodness. Which is what does Jacob want? Who's saying, answer my question with a raising fist, because that's a great way to motivate response. What is the question you have? You're way down on the list, my friend. Scrolling back up to the way up top list. Oh, Chase is advocating for a full merch website for VOC. Maybe one day. Hey, if my friend gets a stunt driving charge when I'm in the car, will I be punished at all? No. I mean, unless you were criminally responsible for something. No. Cancer Man Cole says, getting my M2 in a month. Any advice for new motorcycle riders? Take a course. Get professional instruction. Absolutely. Lucas, what's going on? Chase and Rick Rolled both sent gifts. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. My goodness, this whole chill roll, I'm not getting through questions very fast at all. Okay, catching up here. When everyone is speeding, how do you decide who to pull over? Whoever you're paying attention to. Whoever the fastest one is. Whichever one you decide looks nicer at 200 meters away. Chances are, it really depends. Are we speeding? Am I pacing you from behind your bumper? I might run your plate. Whoever's got the worst driving record might get it. Don't know. Could be, I like green cars, but not red cars. Don't know. Generally speaking, it's the fastest car, though. Every officer is going to have a different reason. But I shouldn't say never. I generally am running a laser device at 200 meters away from you. I have no idea what car you are other than you're the fastest one on the road. Gerard Stevens says, wait, former police officer? Yeah, it's been 6 months. I left the job 6 months ago. Ur wants to know, can I put saran wrap over my windows that shattered and fell out, or will I get a ticket? Well, it's unsafe. Will you get a ticket? Can you see through the saran wrap safely? Is it optically correct? The answer is no. So you could be charged with obscuring the driver's view. Thanks for all the follows. Got a whole bunch of people. Linda, Sabrina, Bella, Amir, Coleman, Kelly, Fardine, Christine, Duncan, Cassandra, Shane, all followed. Thank you much. Asim says, hey, Sean, does carpool lane have a speed limit of 140 plus? No, but you'd think it would based on how fast people are going. And apparently so does shoulders. I've had several people send me dash cam video today. By the way, if you've got dash cam video that I need to respond to, review, give you commentary on, feel free to send me a link to a YouTube video or a download link from a Dropbox. I would be happy to either feature it and or respond to it. The comment of one chap who sent me video today as a car flew down the shoulder and he said some expletives. It was quite entertaining. People forget that the audio is on. But yeah, the speed limit's the same in all the lanes. Some Handsome says, any opinion on bright light? Gremlins don't like it. There are lights that are improperly directed, and there's illegal lights that are too bright. Logan Grant, the beard, I'm jealous. Logan, are you jumping into this night live stream? Are you working? Are you at home? What's your story, my brother? Logan is from Brooks, Alberta, and he too has he was the inspiration. He has an epic beard, unless he shaved it, which I won't even know who you are if you shaved your beard, sir. He also has a cowboy hat. Yes, he's a cowboy. And Logan, there's a seat right here. We're gonna put you at the desk behind it. All right. North Spectre says there has to be more clarity with how M. I need more. Please tell me more. I don't know what you're saying. Sabrina says, always love your content, educational, but in a fun way. Thank you very much. I appreciate that you get me. You get me. That's all I'm trying to do is educate and have some fun. Logan Grant says, I've trimmed it. What do you mean you've trimmed it? Logan Grant had an epic beard. A red epic beard. And he says he trimmed it. Send me pictures or it ain't real. Seriously, send me a picture. Send me a picture. I need it. I'm going to tell everybody what your beard looks like now. I'm scared. I'm actually nervous to see what your face looks like. All right. But Ryan wants to know if radar detection in Canada is legal or no. It is not legal. Anything that interferes with the police's ability to measure speed, so whether it's a jammer, for laser or for radar, if it's a measurement device that warns you so you slow down to avoid being, the consequences of a ticket, that's all prohibited. $170 ticket in the province of Ontario, 2 demerit points, and of course, if we have suspicion that you have it in your vehicle, we can search your vehicle. Yeah, people get really freaked out about that. It's authority that is phenomenal, and it's out of the Highway Traffic Act. No one should have that shit. It's dangerous to speed. We don't want you speeding. Justin Nakatsuka says, Hot Wheels made a sweet radar gun. Works well. Kids love it. I bet I didn't know they had a radar gun. That's awesome. I now want to see this radar gun. But Hot Wheels is awesome. Did you go to the Hot Wheels booth at the auto show? Or booth. It was a whole display. Dilzo says, stick to the right lane, Grandpa. I drive like a grandpa because I am both concerned about the safety of all. I don't want to waste gas or burn my brake pads. And the funny thing about Dilzo is they're going to end up at the destination right around the same time that I will. But I will have spent less money on gas, not damage my vehicle, not put lives at risk. So, grandpa title means that I've grown long enough. I've lived long enough to achieve the status of grandpa. Little tyke. What do we got here? Nate Sheriff says, love the content. Thanks for keeping it going after retirement. You know what? I hung out. I waited. I watched. And but it didn't keep flowing from the service. Stepped up. It's important stuff. I want people to have access to this information because it's important. Where else are they going to get it? But I enjoy doing it. I selfishly really enjoy it. In fact, I've said this for a long, long time, for like 25 years. Volunteering, which is how I started with the service, giving back as an auxiliary officer. I said it was one of the most selfish things I did because I loved it so much. I got so much satisfaction from helping people that I was enjoying it and having fun. So you may have got the benefit of something I enjoyed doing, but I got benefit from doing it as well. Giving is getting, something like that. Where can we get swag? Everyone wants the swag tonight. This is my new stuff. We'll get you some stuff there, Blue Line Ginger, who happens to be Logan Grant on both platforms here. Let's see here. Chase wants to know if it's just that one Chick-fil-A location for the promotion on the first responders, or would it is that one location. So if you're going to go to a location and thank them in particular for supporting law enforcement, it's the one at Vaughan Mills Mall. They are the magical folks who put out a flyer, and I was there for half an hour today, and I think every firefighter in 100 miles was there. It was a lot of firefighters. Didn't see any cops. Lots of firefighters. Yeah. They have a really cool drive-through program. Like, they have people standing in the driveway taking your orders. It's not this next level customer service. I can't tell you how impressive. It was truly, truly impressive. Oh. Does blowing a warning on a breathalyzer affect my chances as a 911 operator? A warrant is a 3-day suspension. It is not criminal. It is above the provincial permission to drive or legal limit for driving in the province. Will it preclude you from ever becoming it? No. How long ago was it? Talk to a recruiter. I don't think it'll affect you, but I couldn't say for certain. The only requirement that's listed on the application, I believe, is no more than 6 demerit points, and that you're legally permitted to operate a motor vehicle in the province. I don't think there's anything else. That said, if you don't disclose it, then because you didn't disclose it would be grounds for you not becoming a member. Mike later, what's happening, man? He says, I'm a Nighthawk. Big Rig John says you got to start ticketing the left lane hoggers causing traffic. Well, what is the left lane hogger doing? If they're doing the speed limit, they're doing the right thing. No one should be exceeding the posted speed limit. So they're not hogging anything. They're just preventing you from speeding, and you're not allowed to do that legally. So I wouldn't ticket anybody for doing the speed limit. Now, if they're going slower in the left lane, that's a different story. Let's see here. Ryan, Thin White Line Interceptor says, still think you need to do it from the old office and get Sergeant Campbell back. The dynamic, it depends duo. I love it, man. That'd be awesome. Well, I'm going there on Monday. I've got some stuff to deliver, and once I go there, I'm sure we'll have to discuss. I would love to. I could bring him on the show now, but I'd love to go into the old space and see what's going on. Holy moly, Logan, your face is different. That's great. Actually, you know what? You took years off. You got so young. So, is that you have a video game in your basement? Do I show? We won't show the world. We'll leave it. Well, Duncan, my good friend and my former sergeant says, after ask a traffic cop after dark sounds like porn. Oh my God, that's funny. Okay. Riley Kane says, would you say careless driving is considered more of a blanket charge now? Been seeing it, hearing careless a lot more recently, and it's for a variety of reasons. Riley, it has always been a bit of a blanket charge. It's generally a more serious charge laid when you have a multitude of offenses, a combination of speeding and following too close, or inattentive driving and following. It is quite literally driving without due care and control. So, is that not the wording? I believe that is the wording. Now, the crowns, not the crowns. Let me go back. The justices of the peace, the bench has said, please stop laying these charges. Lay the most appropriate charge. If it was an unsafe turn, don't lay careless. Lay unsafe turn. But the prosecutors complained. I used to have this fight all the time with the prosecutors. I lay the most appropriate charge. If you follow too close, I laid follow too close. You know what they said? This will really, really piss you off. They said, you're taking away our ability to negotiate. Charge them with and it wasn't all of them. It was one in particular who I hated. They said, charge careless so I can negotiate it down. And that means that they can get them through the court system faster. Waste your time and then end up giving them the gift of what I would have given them anyway. Well, I didn't play that game. I laid the most appropriate charge, despite the request of the Crown, who was being something offensive. I just can't think of the word. At least not one that I can say here. Okay. All right. Yeah, so it's abused as a blanket one, and sometimes it's the appropriate one. It depends on the situation. It's not always appropriate, but sometimes appropriate. Stanley, that buddy, says, how's retirement going? It's going well. Thanks for asking. If a driver comes to a stop in a live lane to perform a legal U-turn due to opposite traffic, what? Okay, if you're obstructing traffic because you're just stopping in the middle of the road because you want to do a U-turn, you're not doing the right thing. U-turns are permissible in most places where it's safe to do so, but not once you start obstructing traffic. You're a part of the problem. Drive to a driveway, drive to the next intersection. Don't do a U-turn. U-turns, despite people saying it's safe, are rarely safe. Joe11156, can you do it from home? I'm doing it from home right now. I do have a studio, though. I can go to a studio, and we're trying to get the studio up, and I've been so busy trying to develop the not-for-profit that I haven't finished decorating the studio. Can you get a ticket for going 5 to 10 Uber? Under, not Uber. 5 to 10 under is not a thing, not against the law. I was doing the speed limit everywhere I was going today, and people were passing me like crazy. Mike later loves the hat. I'll have to bring you one, Mike. I have to make all these hats now. This is going to become the hat making show. Oh, okay. 1 second. I misunderstood what Logan was saying. So this is the After Dark episode that will never end because I'm apparently inviting guests. Here we go, man. Sending you the link. We may have a guest. It's exciting. Okay. What force were you with, Jeff? I was with the Toronto Police Service. Honda Migs. Oh, you joined me on Instagram too. Okay. Dolsey said, pulled over and had car scanned for engine light. Original reason for being pulled over was not set. Scanned for engine light? They have scanners for that? That's impressive. What service did that? Was that like in conjunction with MTO? Like I've never had a scanner. What kind of car do you have? Were you heavily customized? Were they looking for emissions stuff? I'm really curious. That's new to me if they're doing that. Tyler says, if you don't have your insurance card, driver's license, do you have time to show proof afterwards? Not in Toronto, not in any big city. You've committed the offense by not having it. You can always go to court and show proof there, and they can do what they want with it. They can dismiss it, but you've committed the offense at the time that you committed the offense for failing to surrender upon demand of a police officer. Any laws on driving with high beams? Yeah, fail to lower your beams. If you're following at less than 60 meters and oncoming within less than 150 meters, 160 meters. I always mix those two up, but yeah. Fail to lower your beams. Green Day wants to know why I left. Family reasons. I could have stayed for another 10 years. I missed the job terribly. I don't miss the drive. It was about 3 hours commuting daily just because of terrible traffic in Toronto, not because I'm that far away. It was just really, really bad. I got there. It took me a half an hour, 40 minutes to get to work. It took me 1.5 to 2.5 hours to get home, depending on the day. And that really, I don't miss that part, but I miss everything else. But family is most important. Kylie says, I have a question. Well, you have to ask the question. How in shape does a cop have to be? They have to be capable of passing the tests for entry. Now, there's standards and benefits. Well, there's no. Once you're in, you're in. But there is an incentive to continuously stay in shape, not just because staying alive is important, both for health and in the event of a fight, or you chase bad guys. That's the thing. You fight with bad guys. Being out of shape is dangerous, quite dangerous. Highway 11 has a test area where the limit is 110. Do you know if this is going to continue? I don't know if everywhere is going to get it, but certain areas across the province have that. There's a couple of them, or a number of them. Rice Orbis says, you were probably the coolest cop. Are you still actively in the force? I am no longer I'm still actively associated with the force. I'm always talking to them. Lots of friends that I stay in touch with, but I'm not a police officer or employed in any way, shape, or form by the service anymore. And Squeegee Boy correctly says those test areas were made permanent. In those, there's sections. Jeff is planning to become an RCMP officer. Awesome. Good luck with your journey. It's quite the process, and it's very rewarding. What are the major G1 rules? Just got mine. The biggest thing to remember, Duncan, is that you cannot drive after or between midnight and 5 a.m. That license does not allow you to do it. You must be supervised by a G-class driver who has 4 years experience and has less than 0.05 alcohol, which means they have to be legally permitted to drive in the province based on, like, they're sober. Okay. What else? Yeah. Can't have anybody else in the front seat. Like, you can't have somebody in between you and the driver who's supervising you. Gamer Joe says, big fan, by the way. Oh, there was a question before that. Hey, if my friend gets a... Oh, you said that. We already covered it. Cool. Well, I appreciate you. How old does your kid have to be to drive in the front or to ride in the front seat? There's no age. You could have a baby seat in the front seat. It's not safe, but you can do it. Pros will say back seat is best until 14 years old. Let's see here. We talked about that. Have you ever chased anybody on the highway? Yeah. Chase people highway, byway, on the road. Traffic cops do that. Getting M2 in a month. Any advice for new motorcycle riders? We talked about that. Just take a course and don't do the speed thing. I've seen too many tragedies as a result of speed on bikes when people aren't skilled. And people who are skilled still have mistakes. And I've found body parts in different places as a result of that. Why are people getting out of jail so fast? Horrendous crimes in Canada is broken. Yeah, it is. Our justice system is having major problems. We have a lot of milk and cookies people on the bench who let everybody out. Don't worry, if you get into trouble, you'll stay in jail. But if the real bad guys who didn't get hugs when they were kids, or no, they'll feel sorry for them. It doesn't matter that they had guns and drugs and gang affiliations. Those people get out, or at least they appear to. Lucas says, "Hey, Sean." Hey, Lucas, what's happening? Okay, talked about that. Is 180 even speeding? Jacob, yes. 20 over is speeding. 1 over is technically speeding. How dark is too dark for tint? If you can't see in, it's too dark. If you can't see in at night, but you can see in during the day, it's too dark. If it's more than 30% light blockage, it's lose your license plate time. What would you say was the most common offense you saw as the general public may not think is common? Certainly rephrase that. Let me reread that. That's from Riley. What would you say the most common offense you saw the general public may not think is common? Right turns on reds. People not even stopping. You have to come to a complete stop. That is insanely out of control. License plate covers. Obviously, those are minor, but constantly. Everyone has them. Nobody knows it's against the law. Speed. Everyone obviously thinks that speeding is okay. Anna says, hi, Sean. Hope all is well. We're doing all right. Thanks for asking. Lucas says, I'd love to send you some video and have you react to them. Yeah. Go to trafficcop.ca, hit the link, send me links to your Dropbox videos so I can download them, or YouTube if you link them there. I will check it out. Stephanie Serba, how you doing? Is going 180 ticket worthy? You're doing 20 over. Yes, it is. Can I ride in the bike lane on my motorcycle? No, you may not. $150 fine, and just a dick move. Where can I report a car meet? Call a non-emergency line. Unless people are at risk of getting hurt immediately, then call 911. Did you come to the auto show this year? I was there for nearly the entire auto show. There were a couple of days where I had a tire issue. I wrote an article about it. If you go to x.com and check out my articles, or LinkedIn, or even bettertraffic.ca, I did an article specifically about the auto show and missing a bunch of it because I had a tire failure where the tire just shredded. It didn't actually pop. The inner tube, it doesn't have an inner tube, but the inner construction of the tire stayed together, but the belt shifted, and it was wild. Sneck says, or Sanic says, I'm addicted to stunt driving. What can I do? Take it to the track. Don't be a dick. I said dick like 7 times in this live stream. It's an hour and a half, and it's now 11 o'clock at night. I'm going to be signing off very shortly. But I haven't seen... Did he not get the message? Hang on a second. Did it work? Maybe he didn't see my message. I was waiting for Logan to jump in. What do you miss most about your job? That's actually Logan who asked it. The people. Absolutely the people. Rick Rold says auxiliary officers don't get paid. They get reimbursed for their mileage. So if you drive from the north end of Toronto and you go all the way down to the south end of the lakeshore there to get to the police station you're volunteering at or the detail, you'd get reimbursed, I think, 50 cents. Oh, there he is. I see him now. Did you just pop in or were you there the whole time and I was ignoring you? What is going on?
It's going, man. I've been here the whole time.
You. Hang on, I got my faders. Try again.
Then I've been here the whole time, buddy.
No way.
Watching. Yeah, just watching. That's okay.
Oh, dude. Well, it is good to have you.
It's good to be here. It's been a long time.
It really has. For those who don't know this man with a less long beard, I mean, do you have photos of yourself with the big beard? Like, it's quite an adjustment.
Yeah, it was due. It was due. I was starting to look like a ginger caveman, so I had to throw in the towel. But I still got the salt and pepper and the red, so we're good.
Oh, there you go. You see, all the part that's white used to be red for me, or reddish.
Yeah.
It's been far too long since having you on the show.
I know, and the sad part is I don't even have any of my equipment here, so hopefully the next time we'll be ready to go.
Yeah, we'll actually plan it next time. Someone wants to know if this is a Vince Carter hat. This is a voiceover cop hat. And do you think I should license it to Vince Carter? I don't even know who Vince Carter is. Is he a baseball guy or a hockey guy?
He was a basketball player. He was
basketball. See, I have no idea.
As if you didn't know that. From Toronto.
I don't follow sports at all. Sam wants to know if he'd get a ticket if one of his rear license plate lights is not working during the night. If you have no license plate lights, I would say yes. If you have one, you might get pulled over and told you should fix it. But it depends on the cop.
Yeah,
did you write a ticket? So I was going to say, introduce yourself. People don't know who you are.
So I'm the sergeant peace officer in the city of Brooks, which is in the province of Alberta, and my primary focus is traffic safety, just like good old Sean here. So
you're the me in Brooks, Alberta.
Yeah.
How are you enjoying the role? Yeah,
exactly.
With two electric shotgun video game controllers in the wall. Those are menacing, man.
Yeah, I'm in my bar area, so I don't know how after dark this show is, but I'll keep my beverage over here and not swig it on camera.
I have my Diet Pepsi, which I've been nursing for an hour and 30 minutes.
You got to get a Yeti, man. Put it in a Yeti. Keep that thing cold.
There's a Yeti can holder, right?
Oh man, I've got like 50 of them on my bar.
Come on.
Because they're addictive. They will keep your cans cold all day.
Like you put the can in the Yeti holder? It's worth buying?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you put the lid on. Oh, you're good to go. They're the best.
I may have to get one.
Yeah. I put my energy drinks in at work all the time, and it keeps them cold all day.
Very cool. Can police pull me over if I drive without plates? What do you think? I'm going to say yes.
That's an easy one.
Yeah, there's a bunch of police don't need a reason to pull you over. They can pull you over just to make sure you have a driver's license. They can pull you over to make sure you're sober. They can make sure you have insurance. Check the status of your vehicle, make sure it's safe.
100%.
People think you need to be doing something to get pulled over.
The elevator music you got in the back is quite soothing, Sean. I will say.
Wait, this is not just elevator music. This is the After Dark theme song.
Ooh. When someone asked if this was a porn, the more you crank that, we're getting pretty close there.
But check this out. Check out the lyrics.
Oh. This is very traffic intimate.
It's the Sean Shapiro show.
This is good. This is one of your AI ones. I like it.
Oh yeah, it's for real. It's we're not messing around here. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, Latina wants to know. It's Latina. Suppose you want to be a police officer, but you're a single mom. Is it possible with the hours work? There's many single mothers who make it work. Now, they may need family support or accommodation to be able to, get childcare, but they make it work.
Yep.
Username BG wants to know how Chick-fil-A was. Do you have Chick-fil-A in Alberta?
I believe we have one in Calgary and Edmonton, but not around me.
Have you tried it?
No, and I seen you posted a picture of it the other day.
Today.
Instantly, I got hungry for it. I'm a sucker for Popeyes. But,
I don't know. I don't know how to compare those. I haven't had Popeyes in about 20 years.
So
20 years. But I will say that this was my first experience, and I'm just so blown away by the cleanliness, the customer service, and the quality of the food. First time ever there. Love it.
I've heard good and bad things about the Chick-fil-A sauce and what it does to your...
Oh, chemically.
Yeah. But otherwise, I hear it's very good. So
I don't know about the sauce. I had a salad. I had a chicken salad.
That changes things.
Nick's cat phone. Nick's cat phone or Nick's cat phone says Popeyes is great.
Yeah. Amen, brother. Popeyes is amazing.
He says that there's a state where some people don't drive with plates. Then they wouldn't be allowed to enter the country. You can't enter the country with no plates. You have to make sure the car's safety.
But I can't think of a single state in the U.S. though where that would be.
I can think of places where people just don't give a damn.
And you have the piece of paper that says this is.
That's still
I'm
a permit.
Not driving. I'm traveling. Right. I mean, maybe those states, but.
Yes. Yeah, that's possible. You have to have a permit of some kind.
Yeah.
Is driving fast safe what is this? Is driving fast safe bad if nobody is around you? Driving fast is dangerous regardless. You increase the amount of speed, more energy required to slow you down and stop you. It's just a bad idea.
I've gone to a lot of single vehicle collisions on Highway 1 out here where they're the only vehicle on the road at 2 a.m. and they're the only ones getting in the collision, and speed is a factor. So things happen.
Yes, it doesn't take much to change your day, and speed can really impact that, quite literally. TikTok Guidelines says, did you quit policing, Shapiro? I left a week shy of turning 50, and I did it for family reasons. I did leave policing well earlier than I planned to, and I miss it a whole lot. But I did it for the right reasons, family first. Tasso says, one last question. He says, I was doing spin training in Edmonton and noticed that speed traps have to give warnings ahead of trucks and trucks marked. Why is that, Alberta? Any idea why not in Ontario? Well, we don't have the trucks anymore. We don't have the photo radar trucks, which we had in the 90s. We do, however, have speed enforcement or automated speed enforcement, and all of those require a sign saying it's there.
Yeah, and in Alberta, it's actually been quite a controversial issue here because a lot of cities were putting them in places where they were in those speeding up zones.
Is that the ring road, or is that the launch pad between speed limits?
Kind of the launch pad between speed limits. So now what they have to do in Alberta is the vehicle, whether it's a truck or an SUV or whatever, they're like lime green. They have traffic safety right across it, and then what they do is put out. Exactly. And then they put out social media posts that says photo radar will be in this neighborhood from this time to this time.
Why do we give people warnings? We should be hammering the crap out of people who break the law. Just saying. Yeah. It's they're doing the wrong thing. They're putting lives at risk.
Yeah.
What was the question? I thought you would be great for you. If you had a chance to reset your life, would you do policing again? How about you? Would you do would you apply and be doing what you're doing now if you could do it all over again? Or would you be a doctor?
Do you want a serious answer, or do you want
serious answer?
No, I wouldn't. I would probably be more of a psychiatrist.
Well, because you're doing that anyway. You're pulling people over, listening to their problems.
You're a tactical social worker as a law enforcement, whether it's police officer, doesn't matter. You're tactical, but just the things that I've been exposed to over the years, and I'm sure I would probably be a better person if maybe I didn't get into it, but that's just the reality of it for me. So
I think because it's what I wanted to do since I was a kid, If I was resetting it and I was going through the same steps, I would still want to be what I want to be. I would try and avoid the collision that took me off the road because someone hit me with a car when I was on my police motorcycle. I would have avoided that. And I think I would have done it a lot earlier. I did a lot of things. I was a real estate agent. I had businesses. I lived in Florida. I lived in Toronto. I did a lot of things that sort of slowed my role to police officer. And I think if I would have done it sooner, I would have retired with a full pension and now be going into my next career, instead of having this disjointed, interrupted. Because I was with 25 years with the service, and that was partially volunteer, partially courts, partially police. I would have loved that to have been a complete, proper, finished product, as opposed to leaving early.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess truly, like I would probably do it again, like you said, when I grew up, that's all I wanted to do. Like I didn't know anything else. But if it just simply came down to what I know now, and if I could whatever change it, I mean, I don't know. It'd be a hard one. So.
It's a tough thing to say because I still think some of the best things
about
me.
It's the best job ever.
Well, but I am who I am today because of what I experienced, and I want to be who I am today. I love myself, and I love my family, and all the things that all came because of policing. I met my wife when I was a member of the Toronto Police. I got a message from Undead Neon, and it's a message I have not seen in a long time. So first off, Undead Neon, good to see you, my friend. He says, Dory. And Dory is the keyword from those that used to help me moderate to say, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer who talks about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff, and I'm here to answer your traffic and police questions. I've been doing this for an hour and 43 minutes. Did not plan to be doing this all night. And now I'm joined by Logan Grant, a peace officer from Brooks, Alberta, who focuses on traffic safety stuff. Sergeant. I have to say Sergeant now.
Yes, I got promoted. Believe that.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Right? Who would have thought? Not this guy.
Kate says, Sean, hey, I hope you're well. Are you still with Toronto Police? Long time no see. I'm no longer with the Toronto Police. I left at the end of August, not April. Different month. And I'm now in this self-employed, not-for-profit gig where I'm trying to still help people in the same way I was helping people before, with a much shorter commute, because now I just have to go to the basement.
Wait you get a little bit older, then you'll have the acorn chairlift taking you down.
Oh, hey, listen, whatever it takes. As long as I can get in front of a camera, I'm all good to go.
Yeah.
Ice Bros wants to know what the top speed of a police car is, because that's important. It goes as fast as it needs to. And as Nick says, actually, Nick asks, but the answer is, Nick wants to know if there's an eye in the sky in Toronto. And we recently got a number of helicopters provided or purchased for multi-jurisdictional use. So there are eyes in the skies when need be.
Yep.
Foxtrot 144 says, hey, Sean, long time no see. Oh, I see. It's the same conversation in both things. So, but they wish me peace and happiness after the force. Thank you very much. I am excited to continue to work with agencies. You know, my whole thing is with bettertraffic.ca is to help police agencies improve their online game by increasing exposure, helping them with techniques that work online. Call me a special advisor to police services. Steve, just a shout out to Steve. Steve wanted us to let everybody know that he identifies as a barnyard animal. In particular, he is a pig. He put those out there, so it's important to acknowledge Steve before I block him. I get to have a lot more fun as a retired guy.
Just a little bit, eh?
Yeah. M says, that explains the beard. Let's see here. Do you know Sergeant Kerr with the Alberta Sheriffs? That's John Dempster asking.
I don't. I work in southern Alberta, so if he's not posted down here, I probably don't know.
James wants to know if I ever worked with his brother at TSV PC Brett. Is that Brian Brett? And James, are you an officer as well? Because if so, I met you out in Port. Where is it? We were on our way out to an event, way out, and we met up on the road on our motorcycles. And if you're who I think you are, yeah, So unless Brian has multiple brothers, we met. I'm assuming you're the officer. I met. Is it not Port Perry? Where are you?
Port Hope.
At your parents' place. Yeah, absolutely. See, I remember crazy stuff. That's how I remember the HTA, because I remember much
Crazy stuff.
crazy stuff. Very, very cool. I don't think I can. I was gonna say, hit me with a DM. I'll follow you. Steven wants to know what happened to Peter going live. He did. Oh, I met Tyler, so I met a different brother. Okay, cool. Well, hit me with a DM anyway. Stay in touch with brothers of my friends. How's your if you're speaking to Brian, send him my best. Smiths Falls, that's right. So I met him, I think near your parents' place. But anyway, long story short is, yeah, I know your brother. It's a very long and drawn out yes. So very cool. Oh, I love the whole connection, the whole family connection here. All right. I may have jumped through some stuff and things where I missed questions, and I apologize if I didn't address you. There was tons of people who asked questions. Let's see here.
You're gonna need a moderator soon. I've needed
a moderator the whole time. And these late night ones are awesome, and I'm so glad you joined me, because although towards the end, and I can't stay on much longer because my wife is upstairs going, "Where the hell is my husband?"
Right.
But I'd like to make this a regular thing. I think you should join me on the next one. What are you doing on Thursday night?
I think Thursday night I'll be here with you.
Okay, well then it's a date.
Right.
I'm looking forward to it. You get your mics on up, and
I'll have my studio set up.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I think what's interesting is, and I'll promote it and tell people all about the fun that we're going to have, because people don't get it. Every province has its own rules.
Yeah.
We have
and some rules
laws.
are more stricter than others, and some people, like you guys, don't allow radar detectors.
Yeah, I'm a little
right. So
annoyed.
There's so many different. Yeah.
Well, I'm annoyed that other provinces do. I don't think anyone should. They should be illegal.
Same. I believe the same, but I'm not the powers that be.
It's funny. We should change those powers. We need more powers.
Right?
And then we have, what is this? Justin wants to know, as a sergeant, is Logan still doing patrol? Are you strictly administrative, or do you got on the road?
Oh no, I am very much still doing patrol. I got to show the younger guys how it's done. So
beauty, lead by example.
I do spend a lot of time on the road, so
that's awesome. I got to come down and visit you. I want to. You know who I just was messaging on? He responded, and we've spoken before, so it's not a complete shocker that he reached out. But Frank Slope from Fridays with Frank.
Really? Yes.
He reached out. He loved the video I put up.
Stuff all the time. Oh,
he's awesome.
He says things awesome. I only wish I could say to people.
Yeah, and Frank reached out, and I said, "Dude, I gotta come to Arizona." Wow. And he says, "Yes." So I think we're gonna do some collab stuff, and I'm gonna go visit him in Arizona, because how can I not? First off, I've never been to Arizona.
That is like jealousy beyond jealousy. The guys and I will sit in my office sometimes when we got on our break, and we'll just watch Fridays with Frank clips.
See, I would have been the Canadian Fridays with Frank guy if it wasn't for the fact that I wasn't on the road. I couldn't. Yeah. We actually had a plan that if I recovered to the point where I could get back on the road, I would do exactly what Frank does, which is bring awesomeness to everybody.
Oh, traffic guy! You said it earlier, like. The amount of stuff you can get on traffic is incredible. Warrants, drugs, guns.
Oh yeah, nonstop.
I got my record yesterday. I pulled a guy over the other week. Expired registration since 2023. Mind you, we're in 2025. And
I've seen
26 warrants were out for his arrest.
Warrants for what?
Exactly, everything. We took meth off of him. Alcohol in the front seat, 26 warrants, 3 different cities across Alberta wanted him. It was just on the traffic stop. You know what I mean? So people give the traffic guys a lot of shit sometimes, but let me tell you, a lot of the stuff we're getting off the streets coming from a traffic stop.
And traffic guys, they make their own work. You know, it's not like they're sitting around waiting for a call. They're not picking their nose. They're out there, doing
picking their nose and doing stuff.
They're picking their nose and doing stuff. Let's see here. Somebody wants to know why you're not with the provincial police. Do you have provincial police, or is it just RCMP?
Just RCMP. Yeah, we do have the Alberta Sheriffs, which
Okay.
if Danielle Smith had her way, they would become the new provincial police service. But
Okay.
we have the RCMP, and then the sheriffs are kind of moving their way in. So
Shout out to Manraj who just jumped in. Kat, you got Nick says he's awesome. Who are we talking? Oh, he says Frank's awesome. Yes.
oh yeah.
Alex May says picking their nose, eating donuts, and doing stuff. Yes, this is a new T-shirt we're gonna get.
It's the life.
That's a new T-shirt.
We're paid to eat donuts, pick our nose, and enforce
Washing
traffic,
hands in
keep the
between,
roads
please.
safe.
Alex May says, I'm glad I refound you. I enjoyed the information. Alex, I'm glad you found me too. And if, for anyone watching who doesn't already follow me, please follow me. It really helps, because the more followers we have gives us that social credibility that allows people to say, we have a lot of followers. And I have a lot of followers. Followers are just a bragging right. They really don't mean a thing, because most of the people who find my live don't follow. We get them in the feed, right? And
I only have 5, so I mean,
yeah,
5 followers for me, it doesn't mean anything.
But
Doesn't
if
mean
you
that I
go
only have 5
live,
friends.
more people find you, and they don't have to be following you to get in there and then hang out for an hour and chat with you. But it really makes a difference in, just to be able to say, like, I had 674,000 followers when I was with the Toronto Police. I gave up that account, sitting there dormant. No one's using it. And I'd love to get back there, just so I can say I got back there. Means
You'll
nothing. Means
You'll
nothing.
get back.
I'm not worried. Callie or Kale Rob 29 sent a heart. Thank you very much. I don't see the animations when they show up, so I apologize for not recognizing you the moment you did that.
Well, how many feeds do you have going at the moment?
I've got
TikTok,
a window.
Instagram.
I've got Instagram, TikTok, then I have a multi-window that's getting YouTube, X, and LinkedIn, and I've got to look at all of them, and and I got to look at you too.
Yeah. Well, don't worry about that. I'm a little hard on the eyes.
Well, the beard is shorter. It really does change the profile. But this is actually short compared to, not short. This is long, but I had fully gone Grizzly Adams. And
I've seen a couple of your pictures on Instagram, and I was like, oh, he's fully committing to that.
Well, I went to a funeral, and of course you see all sorts of people you haven't seen in a long time when you go to a funeral. And I was looking at someone who was looking at me, and I'm like, why is that guy looking at me? And he almost looked like Cousin It. He had long hair, and his beard just blended into it. Was and I realized, I'm like, you're a retired staff sergeant. You're my friend's husband. I know exactly who you are. And we, once it clicked, but and I'm like, I could do that. No, I can't do that.
You could pull off a ZZ Top thing, though. I think
he had full ZZ Top going. It was an epic beard, but he had very straight hair, and mine tends to get out there.
Got to commit, full commit. Got a lotion, lather.
Oh, I'm all over it. Eric, I'm assuming it's Eric. MTL is Eric Montreal. What is he saying? He says here, close to me on the 401, the MTO caught a pickup truck pulling a sea can with a pickup truck carrying a sea can. Oh, is this what was in the media today? The question that Eric has is, how much power does the MTO have in pulling over vehicles? They seem to catch stolen cars a lot. I think they're involved in multi-service sting operations. They have a lot of manpower. They are peace officers. They can pull over anything commercial. They can pull over anything technically, but they pull over commercial vehicles, and it's quite normal for them to do it. Yeah. They're the technical experts when it comes to inspection here in Ontario. And although we have many officers within the Toronto Police who are qualified as inspection officers, they are definitely the people who do it more. Yeah. And I don't know more than that, because I haven't watched that particular. I saw something from a couple of the TikTokers that I chat with on a regular, and they were showing that the MTO sort of like lined up and they were pulling over all sorts of inbound vehicles from the U.S. I think that's what it was. Now, let's see here. Where's a place in the Maritimes both of you would like to go, and why is it Nova Scotia?
Why is it Nova? I've been to Nova Scotia. So
well, have you now?
Oh, yeah. I love the East Coast. The one place I haven't been to is Newfoundland. And there's definitely a place I'd like to go. I need to get screeched in before I die.
You got to get screeched in, and you got to see the puppets.
The cod and get screeched in. But Nova Scotia, I know a lot of RCMP officers out here that came from Nova Scotia, and I'll tell you right now, every one of them, best people.
A buddy of mine, Ryan Pinn, who is a driving instructor with young drivers out in Nova Scotia, and he used to come into the live stream all the time. I just want to go visit him. He plays the military trumpet, trombone, trumpet. I don't know, some kind of horn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who needs a horn when you got your mouth, Sean?
Yeah. Let's see here. Does OPP have greater enforcement investigative abilities than TPS, not referring to the size? That's not a fair question. I'm going to biasedly say that Toronto Police is the best, but I don't know. I can't compare because I know nothing about the OPP other than they used to have cool hats until they got rid of them and got normal hats. You have a cool hat.
Yeah, the OPP. I love the Stetson the OPP used to wear.
I have one. I actually have one behind me. It's behind the green screen. Otherwise, I'd get it and show it to you. I have an old. Well, it doesn't fit in my head. It's a very tiny size one. I also have a Hellboy hand.
Oh.
Yeah. Like literally, I have a one
right now. So
I have a 1-to-1 replica of Hellboy's hand, and it's just over there. I also have a 1-to-1 replica of Hellboy Samaritan. Did you watch Hellboy? I'm a big Hellboy fan.
I've seen the first few. I don't think I've seen the new remake, but
I
will say your green screen is good. Like you don't have that blurry line around your body.
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
I do. I don't know. It's about proper lighting.
And I prefer in court and trial, and they're on the judge and they are on trial.
That's because they're using crappy. Like I actually have a green screen. They're just using an app that thinks it traces the face.
Yeah.
And you have to light this bad boy properly to make it work. The only thing I don't like is that I don't have the whole thing. Like I'd love to be able to zoom out and have a bigger, but my green screen is not that big.
You should just wear a green shirt up to your
that
neck.
would be interesting. The head of knowledge.
Yeah.
Yes, the floating head of knowledge. We could do that. I think I gotta say goodbye. I gotta shut it down. I'd love to keep talking to you, but we're hitting that 2-hour mark. And again, my wife is probably going, "Where is that man?" Just thinking.
Yeah.
What is the event log? Oh, look at this. I didn't know this happened. There's an event log. It says here 1 hour ago, broadcast was started. That's inaccurate.
Because it was 2 hours ago.
It was 2 hours ago. So, that's on Instagram. Oh, hang on. What do we have here? A new question. Are police lookalike cars, i.e. black unmarked Explorers with spotlights and bars, legal on or off-road? So is it illegal to have a black Explorer that has a spotlight?
No.
So it's a civilian vehicle. You can buy it. You can buy them used from the police, not against the law. If you start pulling people over, you're going to get arrested.
Yeah.
That's a bad thing. Don't do that.
Impersonation is a pretty big charge.
Yeah, Foxtrot 144 wants to know, how long do I want to grow the beard? I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Some days I'm like, "Argh!"
I'll tell you, the summer will really gauge on how long you want it to grow. If you're a sweating kind of guy, oh man.
Well, you know what? I'm currently dropping weight. It's one of those things. I left the job and I'm like, I'm getting serious about health. And then I got 6 months and I'm like, I haven't really lost it. I haven't really been serious. I'm just enjoying life. And about a week or two ago, I said, enough is enough. I need to get serious. And I've been carb free for a week. Feel great. I'm freezing cold. That's the only problem. Take carbs away and I'm just chilly all the time. Yeah. But aside from that, I should be reducing my size fairly aggressively. Not because I'm starving. I'm eating lots of food, but just eating better. I'm cutting out. I don't feel well after I eat bread.
I've tried the keto diet. Keto diet is amazing.
Works great for
me.
I
tried it like when it wasn't really a thing, but now, I mean, it's so advanced. Like I dropped like 30 pounds in a month just on the keto.
Wow.
So,
yeah, 20 a month I've done. Well, you know what the problem is, that if you eat stuff that makes you fat, and then you stop eating the stuff and you get skinny, and then you eat the stuff that makes you fat again, oddly enough, you get fat.
I wonder how that works, Sean. You're right.
I have to think about this. Some shit you shouldn't eat is what it is.
Yeah.
Just a thing. Carnivore is the best, according to Nick's cat phone.
Oh, the carnivore diet. Yeah. I've heard good things about that.
So, dude, are you coming to Ontario anytime soon?
The next time one of my family members dies, I'll be there.
That is not, I mean, it works for getting together because it's inevitable.
The only time I've been home, every time I go home, it's because there's a funeral. It's just like,
it's unfortunate. I may have to come out and visit you, but there are a couple places that I'd like to take you that involve meat. One of them, there's two all-you-can-eat steak places.
Okay.
All-you-can-eat steak. I like all you can eat steak.
Yeah.
The other is a barbecue place, Texas barbecue place that a friend of mine owns. And it's I say friend of mine like we hang out. It's not that case. It's the owner of a Wimpy's that I've known since like for the last 12 years. We go there all the time. And they opened up they expanded, and then the old location became a Texas barbecue place, and they make some good barbecue.
See, the thing is you're talking to a guy in Alberta about beef.
So you're saying you get fresh beef, so I got to come to you for steak? Is that what you're saying?
The steak out here, even the Texans who come out here who work on the oil patch don't want to go home.
Because the food's so damn good?
My brother didn't eat steak until he came to Alberta, and we went to one of the steak places here where they literally butcher the cow out back and cut the meat and put it on your plate. And
I like the sound of that.
There is nothing better, my friend.
Andrea, I'm going to try and say this name without being offensive. Andrea Crazzola? Cutrazzola? Tell me if that's right. I'm trying. Andrea Cutrazzola? Cutruzzzola. Cutrazzola. Yes. Okay, good.
Sounds good to me.
Names are a big thing for me. I want to make them right. Where is the all-you-can-eat steak place? Can you please share? There are two. The one that I have been going to for years, I was friendly with the owner and management, was I just drew a blank. It's I just had a brain situation. Hang on. Copacabana. Got it. Copacabana. There was one in Eglinton. There was one that they opened up later in downtown on Richmond, and then of course there's now one in Woodbridge, and they used to take care of me, so they really, I used to go, we call that Steak Club. I used to go there once a week with 25, 30 people.
Yeah. Wow. Isn't the Copacabana like something from like the 30s in New York?
It was at the Copa was I think a dance place, and
like mafia, that kind of stuff.
I don't know. I don't know if that was in Florida or if that was in Brazil. I don't know where it was. I think it's a Brazilian steakhouse, and I think maybe I'm thinking about the Copa as something about like a Lucille Ball. But anyway, I'm not going to Google this right now. Somebody else can Google it. But the Copacabana I thought was the best. I mean, I basically met my wife there, or re-met my wife, or fell in love over steak. I went there all the way through. My kids used to go there. Like it's. I went there all the time. I spent way too much.
It's family. Yeah,
it's such good food. And then recently I've been introduced to Toro, and they're in Beaver Creek, and there's another one near Vaughan Mills.
Now, is that a Brazilian steak place?
They're both
I was going to say, I've heard of a Toro place. Yeah.
Now, I used to live in Florida, and I lived in Los Olas, and Los Olas has a place called it's a Chima, and that was like it was like a good walk from my condo. I used to live in a building where the Miami Dolphins cheerleaders all lived, and it was a party building long time ago. Anyway, down the street was Chima, and that was my first introduction to all you can eat steak. And I took my family there recently. We went on a cruise, so we went to Florida, and before the cruise I said we have to go to Chima.
Sean, you can't skip over the fact that you lived in a condo with the Miami Dolphins cheerleaders.
Well, actually, I got to
skip right over it like it didn't even exist.
Hang on. I got to tell you, not only was it the Miami Dolphins, but there may have been people filming porn in the same place. There were people always wearing Bang Bros shirts in the elevator.
I mean, I don't know what
there was some wrong stuff going on in that building. I knew nothing of it other than what I saw in the elevators. But this After Dark has gone dark.
But steak place is great.
Steak place, Chima, down the street, amazing. And Las Olas is a great place if you're ever in Florida in general. But yeah, Vaughan, Toro, Richmond Hill, Toro. If Copacabana in Woodbridge, I mean, if you're going to do the tour, do them all. You may have to save up. These are big dollars. It's like $75 a person, I think. Now, it was less than $50 when I was back then.
Is it good steak though?
It's
like, I know that sounds silly, but like if it's all you can eat,
well, let me ask you: is the keg good steak? Keg is okay.
I get prime rib at the keg. I've never actually had a steak at the keg.
Really?
So prime rib is probably the best prime rib I've had.
I used to like the baseball until I educated myself. I like New York. I like the New York cut. And I will tell you that there's something called CPR at they call it CPR. It's likely done by other people with different names, but CPR, cheese prime rib. So you would like this. So what they do is they slice or poke holes and inject mozzarella, and then it just and I the first time I went there I rejected it. I'm like, that looks like fat just everywhere, and it was wrong, but it was cheese and it was amazing. It became my favorite thing. And then they changed it a little bit. They started rolling. Sorry, we've gone completely away from traffic, and now we're totally a food channel. Rebooting is a food channel. Steak, and all steak. And then they do a fillet that's rolled in Parmesan. It's phenomenal. Who has that 1.5 hour eating time? Not that it matters, because I can eat a lot of steak in an hour and a half. I recently went to Toro like 2 weeks ago for lunch. It was amazing.
Do they have Wagyu?
They don't do it. I don't think they do Wagyu.
No, it's not that.
It's not shishi. It's all you can eat. It's like the Mandarin of steak. It's still very, very good. It's legit food. They do a number of different cuts. Check out the website. Maybe we should do an Ask a Traffic Cop night at one of these events and hold a.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? I mean, I'll live vicariously through you, but
we'll live stream it. We'll have 500 people eating steak, all you can eat, and then we get the group rate at the hospital after.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. 8 minutes ago, I said I was going to shut it down. Brother, it is good to see you. It is good to have you on the screen with me. Yeah. It's been, like I said, too long. So happy to have you back here. Absolutely. We'll do this again soon.
Yeah, I'm always up for the after hours.
Thursday.
So, yes, absolutely.
Let's see here. Hey Sean, can you get a parking ticket if a civilian takes a picture of your car? Not in Toronto. That's a different. Every jurisdiction is different. And in New York City, they're floating, or actually, I think they're testing a situation where the public can take a picture, send it to the city, and they get a commission on the ticket you get.
Oh, really? That's kind of crazy.
Would you implement that in your jurisdiction? Would that make your
life
easier?
We can do that now anyway. So if someone, like I just had this today, where someone sent me a picture of a vehicle that was parked within the no parking signs, and if they were willing to give me a statement on what they observed and that they took the picture, I could issue the parking ticket to the registered owner of the vehicle.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Alex May wants to know if we have to finish with a dad joke. Have you got a dad joke, Alex? We can finish this dad joke. There was a dad joke from Bernhardt earlier.
And it was good.
I've already forgotten what it was.
You're going to have to scroll because you said you're going to do it tomorrow.
It was. I started to make a note, and if your child refuses to go to sleep, what is it? Resisting a nap? Like resisting arrest? It was resisting arrest. If your child refuses to nap, it's resisting arrest. I've totally destroyed that joke.
If you have to explain it, it's no longer.
I have to remember it. It's never mind explaining it. It was bad. All right. Isaac has one. Let's hear it, Isaac. He's typing slow.
That's how I type. So
I've got a split keyboard. I've actually gotten pretty quick.
Do you have your sounds with you at least? All your different womp womp womp. Oh, there you go.
I don't have all of them.
When you were trying to figure that restaurant earlier, you should have hit that.
Yes.
You couldn't think of it. The crickets. There it is. There it is.
Although one of the things I programmed in here is I was doing some voiceover for a cartoon, and I was trying to emulate the what was it called? 10 Ben? There's some cartoon. I thought it was called 10 Ben or anyway. And I had to replicate something like this. And it was interesting. So I actually tuned this. And doing a dispatcher voice, I was doing some dispatcher emulation. So I don't know if you can hear all that, but
I can.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
The first one, was that you making the voice, or was that the deep one?
So the deep one is me just dropping octaves, and it's a button. I can go low. I can go low, but this is doing it for me automatically.
Jesus, you should do the next Jerry Bruckheimer commercial for one of his movies.
Just any way I should do it, but
but his movies
in a land where people are people and people are animals.
I don't know that whole in a land where I can do it without, but it's just it's much less taxing if you press the button.
Yeah.
Why isn't a koala a bear? I think
You're gonna get with all these. I don't know.
Why isn't a koala a bear? Because it doesn't have the qualifications. That's actually not bad, And I was in Australia. I've got family in Australia, and the koala are not fun.
They're not friendly.
They don't like people. They like to sleep.
Nick's cat phone says Ben 10, not 10 Ben.
Do the whole next show with that voice. So.
Well, you can
do monsters too.
There's all sorts of things you can do.
Or you can do little robots.
Yeah.
This one's kind of fun.
Yep.
Anyway, now this is all falling apart. It's all falling apart. All right, we're out of here, brother. Okay, to everyone, I'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Apparently, I'm going to go to sleep for a little bit and get up and do this all over again. Have a good night, everybody. Logan, don't go anywhere. And for everybody else, drive safe, drive sober. If you're drinking, don't drive. Take a bus, take a train, take a plane, but you can't pilot them.
Just
not even a rowboat. Rowboat, not allowed.